We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
Throws toward the corner of the end zone. It is intercepted! Intercepted! The Ducks have the ball!
To the end zone! Oregon! Mariota dives! Touchdown! They hand it off straight out! C.J. Verdell wins the game for Oregon!
Inside the 10! A hat-trick, a touchdown from Justin Herbert! Howard's going to run for it. Time runs out, and that'll do it! Welcome to the Big Ten, Oregon! They storm the field at Autzen!
All right, Duck fans, here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Ducks Rising podcast, sponsored by Backer and Water Ave Coffee. I'm Zachary and Travis. He's Travis Rookley. Travis, what's up, man? How we doing?
Good to be back. I feel like I'm getting in the swing of a little college football again, back to the daily podcast regimen between Cover 3, little Andy and Ari, some other ones, so it's getting closer.
Yeah, it feels like we're starting to get, we're past the midway point of the offseason. It feels like we're starting to get a little bit ready to, start doing your research, start figuring out who's on what team, and kind of get back in that mode, which has been a lot of fun. Today's show is one that I've been looking forward to for quite a while. It's the middle of the offseason. We are exactly, as we record this on, what day is it? Thursday afternoon. We're 100 days away from Oregon football starting off again. So we felt it would be right to have a little bit of a celebration on today's episode and do the 2026 Heisman Trophy draft. That's something that we did last year. It was one of my favorite things that we did. I think it was a lot of fun. So we're running it back this week, and I think this is one that we've both been looking forward to for a while.
Yeah, it got me, I really had to dive deep with the research, got to figure out who's going to be in my top 10. I got to always, figure out how much do I really value winning over drafting, say, a USC player. So a lot of calculus going into it.
Absolutely. Well, that's not all, though. We've also got a big weekend of baseball coming up with the Eugene Regional kicking off tomorrow on Friday night. Then we're going to close it out with some Autzen Airwaves as well. So you want to start on the diamond?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Oregon hosts Yale tomorrow night in the Eugene Regional. Let's go backward, though. Last weekend, the Big Ten title unfortunately lost in the bottom of the 11th inning on a, I would say, controversial hit by pitch call. I don't know what your view on it was. After several replays, I couldn't really tell, but I understand they called it on the field, so they upheld it. But what were your thoughts about just the entire weekend?
Super fun weekend in general. I mean, that Saturday, we both grew up playing with South Eugene Babe Ruth, so baseball has always been in the blood a little bit, and it's been fun to see Oregon kind of have success over the last few years under Waz and really kind of take the program to the next level. I think that Saturday was a heck of a lot of fun for me. A couple, resounding wins. Obviously, that Nebraska win in their home turf was a big one. And then, you get to Sunday and getting out away in the 9th, and then a couple dicey calls go against you in the 11th there. I don't know. I've always hated the stands on the field. I just think these things should ultimately be, if it's 70-30, but the call in the field was one thing, it's do 70-30. I thought both those plays were 70-30. I thought the first one, especially the tag play at third, is an out. But we saw by their coming out as 11th. I was thinking we would probably sneak in at 15 or 16 and be able to.
No, they were 13, weren't they?
No, 11.
Were they 11?
Yeah, 11.
I think I've been writing all week that they're 13. Whoops. All right. I need to go change some things.
To be not a huge. Obviously, when you got after 8, it's not a huge difference,
yeah.
And it did leave me thinking a little bit. Boy, if we could have snagged one of those games we blew in the last 2 weeks to UCLA, can you get up to that 8 number, which obviously makes a huge difference. But I don't know, things setting up well as the 11. I think if you go off the national rankings, you see Oregon State as the 2 seed, and overall in some rankings ranked 6th, and you're like, ooh, boy, that's a tough seed. But at the same time, they've lost their best pitcher. They haven't played well for a while. I think it's set up in a pretty good spot for the Ducks.
Well, I think this team, for 2 reasons, should have a lot of confidence going forward. I think that you've proven to yourselves over the past now 3 weeks, but 2 or 3 weeks, that the number 1 team in the nation, you can stand up to them and play with them, if not beat them. They beat them once down in Los Angeles, almost beat them twice in LA, almost beat them this last weekend. They feel really good about being able to play with the best in the nation. And also, I've been really impressed with this team by how they can win in different ways. They can be successful in different ways. I mean, we've seen them hit home run after home run after home run and just power the ball out of the park and win that way. We've also seen some small ball. We saw I believe you said on Twitter it wasn't quite a suicide squeeze with the bunt, but they're playing small ball. They're getting guys on base and moving them around. So I think they feel really confident about where they are. I know their bullpen could improve a little bit, but that's kind of nitpicking at this point. I think they've got a good shot to go into this Eugene Regional and come out, and then I think they would face probably Texas is who they're lined up to face in the Super Regionals if they advance. So should be a fun weekend. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, kind of when Oregon baseball came back under Horton, it was all pitching and defense, and we couldn't, hit the ball at the infield a lot of weekends. And then things have kind of swung to the other end of the spectrum under Waz. We just have mashed the ball every year, been among the nation leaders in homers, but ultimately it's been pitching that's kind of let us down. I think this year is the best blend of offense and defense. I mean, you go back to that last Saturday, and I think, basically shut out Washington down to the last inning where we're bringing in a end of the bullpen arm, and then shut down Nebraska on the same day. So I think this is our best blend of a pitching staff that can really win you a game, and then bats that can get hot. I mean, 1 through 9 guys that can hit the ball out of the park. So I'm optimistic. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the pitching matchups kind of shake out this weekend. Yale's got a dude on the mound. I don't know if they're going to throw him Friday, but if you're an Athletic subscriber and you haven't read the article on him, I mean, he could have gone to any school in the country and might be a first-round draft pick next year. What's interesting is he doesn't have the best numbers of the Yale starters, so it'll be interesting to see who they go with on the bump, and it'll be interesting to see what our pitching plan is. I mean, anytime you're the 1 seed, you want to game the system maybe a little bit and try to save what you can, but heck, after losing our first game last year, if it's me, I'm throwing my number 1 and I'm just winning the game.
I mean, you got to play it safe and just win and get into that winner's bracket. Don't get into the loser's bracket where you got a lot of work cut up in front of you. But so tomorrow night against Yale, you also got Oregon State and Washington State in this bracket, which is just chef's kiss. It's a great bracket. So much fun for fans. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we don't know when the game against the Beavers is going to come. I mean, it's not guaranteed. If Oregon State goes out and loses their first 2 games and Oregon wins, they wouldn't face each other. But I don't think that's going to happen. So either Saturday or Sunday or potentially Monday. No, they would face them either Saturday or Sunday.
Saturday. The winners, we don't know what time Saturday, but the 2 winners will play Saturday
at
evening
5
at some point.
The games on Saturday are at 1 or at 5. So the losers' game is at 1, winners' game is at 5, and then same times on Sunday. But that game between Oregon State and Oregon, if it comes, is going to be electric. I know that fans are just kind of, they haven't been at each other's throats over the past few years because of the lack of, competitiveness in football. It feels like they're kind of on the same level here. Oregon State feels like they got the short end of the stick because they're not hosting. I know there was pictures of them putting up the bleachers out at their stadium. They had to take them down. It's like I don't know. I'm very excited to be at the games this weekend and to especially see the crowd on that day.
Yeah, that will be. I mean, the Beavs got similar to Yale. Washington State has an ace too, so I think that's no easy task for them as a 2-3. But I'm with you. If that crowd gets to Saturday evening, I think that's exactly the right point. I feel like they've kind of given up the battle on football, and you don't see a lot of animosity there. But the junk talking on Twitter and everywhere else when it comes to baseball is alive and well. It almost feels like Oregon Washington-esque. Like there's that amount of anger, especially coming from the Beavs. So I know they're gonna travel well for that game. I know Oregon's pulled some little levers to buy up some of those seats for our own students, which is a nice little chef's kiss.
Well, I mean, this is their thing. Like, baseball has always been Oregon State's thing. And so when Oregon comes in and, of course everyone's going to cry NIL era. That's part of it. But I think Oregon is just, they've putting together some good baseball teams. So the fact that they're kind of treading on their territory is, it'll be just really interesting to see how the reaction goes from either fan base based on what happens this weekend. So I don't know. I'm excited. I know the Oregon State-Washington State game is tomorrow at noon. And then Oregon-Yale tomorrow at 5. So we'll be watching closely. I think all of it's streamed on ESPN+. I don't think it's anything on the main channels, but tune in if you're interested, because it'll be some high-class TV, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you have not watched this Oregon baseball team, let's just say they are not a afraid bunch.
They're entertaining.
They'll have some fun out there, especially when the ball starts flying over the fence. So, as heated as that UCLA series was, I got to imagine if this game lines up, there'll be some chippiness.
I completely agree. All right, let's move to the gridiron. Real quick, just actually speaking of Oregon State, too, I know that a future series against them was announced and some other game time releases and schedule changes for the Ducks. You want to go over those?
Yeah, shout out to one of our good friends, Doug Scott, who I know has been all over this stuff for a long time. But I think just some different kind of schedule quirks. These non-conference games get scheduled so far in advance that once the Big Ten schedule came out, there was kind of some natural conclusions and paths that needed to happen. So I think one of the biggest ones was the Oregon-Baylor series getting canceled. I think the long and short of that, I know there's Duck fans all over the place, including on the Ducks Rising board right now, that are saying we're chickening out and why are we canceling against Baylor? Like, the biggest thing is when you have a year where you're playing 5 conference road games, you basically need to have 3 home games in the non-conference. So for 2027, we play at Washington, which means that we've got 5 road games. And so with Baylor being on the road as well, we were only going to have 6 home games, which revenue-wise, just balance-wise, isn't ideal for a lot of reasons. And so I think the writing's been on the wall for a little bit now that Baylor game is probably in jeopardy. And so I think you replace it with Coastal Carolina coming to Autzen. Obviously not an amazing non-conference slate.
Fun uniform matchup.
Yeah, fun uniform matchup.
I'm excited for that.
Kind of a fun team to play, generally speaking.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Get the Chanticleers over here.
I mean, do I love the optics of 3G6s, whatever you call them now? Like, it's not awesome, but I also think it's kind of the direction, unfortunately, the sport is heading, and I wouldn't be surprised to see, one of these games get canceled and something else pop up on the schedule. But ultimately, it's just about home and road.
Yeah, fine with me. All right, real quick before we dive into the Heisman, did you see today that your transfer portal prediction started to come true? You see this with UCLA?
No.
UCLA quarterback Carson Gordon has announced that he's entering the transfer portal as a track athlete, which is possible, but he plans to play football at his next destination. So you said before the offseason that you're just curious to see how people get around this no spring portal. This appears to be it. You can kind of enter, like he's saying he runs track and is on the track team, so he's entering the portal for a track team. And he's, I think, going to play football. So
all right,
this might be the way.
Who's the Decorian equivalent that just went out and did a little high jump at some point?
Exactly, yeah. I don't know.
Wow, so what if you're Texas Tech right now, you're just trying to get Dylan Raiola to do shot put for
shot put, discus. But isn't the track season, like, basically over?
Yeah.
I don't follow the track season, but
I don't understand. I'll need to talk to a couple guys I trust in this, because from my understanding, if you're a dual football with any other sport, the scholarship's under football, right?
I do not know. That's how it was, I thought, with Bryce, but I don't know.
I believe the Oregon athletes who, at least when there used to be scholarship limits, and that was like a real thing that you had to follow, and it was a real kind of strategic thing you had to put into place.
You couldn't say they were, someone else.
Yeah, any guy who dueled, even basketball, football, it always had to fall under football if you were on that roster. So if that's still the case, boy, it's interesting.
My ears just perked up when I saw that. I was like, okay, there's something.
I mean, it's going to be interesting too. I don't want to get a whole ton into it because I haven't read a whole ton up on this new SCORE Act that just passed as well. But I did listen to a little bit of Andy and Ari today, and they had Ted Cruz on, and he mentioned one of the provisions on there is like the Lane Kiffin rule, which limits an ability of a coach or assistant to leave or be contacted until your season is over.
I didn't know assistant was in that.
Yeah, to which Ari asked a good follow-up, which was like, well, the calendar has to change then. And classic kind of politician not understanding the issue response was, well, the NFL has no problem with it. Why should college? And it's like, well,
different
sports. It's completely different. So I love the rule. I would have loved to have it be in place last year for us, certainly.
I was just going to say, wouldn't that be so incredibly classic Oregon that the year after they need a 12-team playoff, it comes. And the year after they need assistant coaches to stay, it comes. This law. Oh my God, that'd be.
It would just be
classic.
very politics and NCAA to like pass that provision that we all agree with, but then not change the calendar. And now school like. It was essentially implied like there's plenty of good candidates out there. But if you really want this guy, you can wait till January 25th. It's like and have no roster. So that'll work out well.
Signing day is gone. The portal is closed. Yeah, that'd be awful.
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, let's get into what we all came here for, the Heisman Draft. If you guys do not remember, Travis and I did this last year. We go back and forth, draft teams of 5 players who we think have a chance to either win the Heisman or at least get to New York as a finalist. These are living, breathing organisms each week throughout the season. We can add or drop guys from our team if we want to. And at the end of the year, a winner is decided based on who gets the most points in our, tally point system. The tally system works 10 points for drafting the winner, 9 for second place, 8 for third, so on and so forth, all the way down to 10th place in the Heisman voting. It is safe to say that last year you won pretty convincingly, I might add. I went back and found our rosters and tallied up the points. Here's how they finished up. I had 13 total points. I had Diego Pavia, who finished second, and Gunnar Stockton, who finished 7th. I also had Dante Moore, Arch Manning, and Ty Simpson, who did not place. You had 30 points. You had the winner in Fernando Mendoza. You had Jeremiah Love, who finished 3rd. You had Jeremiah Smith at 6th and Julian Sain at 7th. And then you also had Marcel Reed. So as the winner, you get, Marcel Reed is the one outlier on that team for sure. As the winner, you get to go first. We're going to go back and forth, no snake draft. You ready to kick us off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to go with Dante.
Wow, you're going with him first. Okay.
Yeah. I don't love anyone as a clear cut. I kind of there's a crew of. I'm looking at my board now, so forgive my lack of eye contact for those of you on video. I've got like a group of 5 to 6 in that kind of tier 1-ish area, and not to give anything too big away, but if you're asking me if I want to be rooting for Oregon every weekend or Notre Dame or Texas or Ohio State, I'll go ahead and root for Oregon.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad first pick for sure. I'm surprised at how low he is on the betting odds boards at plus 1,200, which is 1, 2, 3 tied for 4th.
Oh, interesting. You must have the more updated odds. I see he's 3rd at the one I pulled up earlier.
What do you
I think it's old.
FanDuel or DraftKings?
No, I just pulled up some article from Yahoo that's probably from 4 months ago. Yeah, only February 18th.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
Oops.
Yeah, he's tied with a couple other people that I won't say for 4th.
Just about Dante, I think just to go into it real quickly, I mean, I think that obviously the winning piece, that's always the first thing I think about. And I mean, for me, you got to be 10 wins and above for sure, honestly, into that 11, 12 range. I think the interesting question will just come down to, I mean, how many full third quarters is he playing? Yeah. And then is he handing off the ball inside the 5 or is he throwing the ball inside the 5? I think we've seen Oregon teams, especially that 2023 Knicks year. I think there was some bow padding happening at different times. Of course. Yeah. Give him the opportunity to, throw a run inside the 5. I think my gut would be they're less inclined to do that with a guy like Dante, especially with his legs, using them as an advantage there. But I think it really just comes down to how much stat pattern are you doing and how many touchdowns are you chasing.
I also wonder with Bo when we saw him, because Ty Thompson was his backup the last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it still was. I wonder if he never planned for injury, but the fact that they do have Dylan behind him and know that they have a very solid and capable backup, if they're more willing to be like, okay, yeah, we can run him and try and get the ceiling out of him more than being cautious and saying hey, if he goes down, our season's over. Because I think if he goes down and Dylan comes in, it's kind of okay, they can still go out there and win games. But I don't know. I don't know if you even think about that or if it's just kind of taboo to say.
What are you out here assuming it's going to be Dylan or something?
Yes, honestly, yeah. I'll put my stake in the sand right now. I am. Not. You think it could be Brock?
I don't know. I just have no idea. I'm not ever assuming again. But I think what's interesting is I could totally see that. I could also totally see the opposite, where they're like, if they really do think Dylan's the guy for 27, or they want to see if he's the guy for 27, they're unconvinced. It's like you're up 31-10 in the middle of the third quarter. Like the game's not really put away, but like it kind of is. Yeah. Are you just rolling out Dylan because you need to see him get some like real full-on game reps? So I have no clue how we're going to play these games.
Yeah. Like always, we have no idea what's going to happen when it comes to Oregon football. They always keep us guessing. I didn't think. Oh, I should have thought you were going Dante first. I don't really know what to do here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go chalk. I'm gonna go with Arch, and just play it safe. Like the expectation right now, I feel like it would be a failure for either Dante or Arch, viewed as a failure if neither of them get to New York for that ceremony. Like I think that's just the easy expectation right now. So yeah, I'm going Arch. I don't love it because I don't necessarily love him as a prospect or watching him play football, but the media narrative around him. I mean, he's already the number one pick in every mock draft you see for 27. It's like, why? Take away the name, and he would not be in the top 10. But it's the college football world. We love storylines, and he's the biggest one going into this year. So yeah, I'll take Arch.
He's got the legs combo, which I think is an underrated piece with him. I think they can rack up some numbers there in addition to it. I mean, way better weapons than last year. I mean, I think he's going to have a good year, and I think if you told me right now Texas is going to win 11 or 12 games, I'd say he's a virtual lock to be in New York. I think to me it's almost a bigger question of, do they go 9-3 again, and is he a little bit on the periphery just record-wise? But I think if you guaranteed me the team success, the name recognition itself is going to buy you votes across the country.
Yeah, and I mean, I think after week 2, this pick could look really good because I think they're going to beat Ohio State. I just think they've got a better roster. Ohio State lost a ton of dudes, especially on defense. Like I would just pick Texas right now. It's in Austin, I believe. Yeah, it is. It was in Columbus last year. So I think this could look like a really good pick after week 2. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's one of those that I think betting guys are always smart on this stuff. Like if you have a gut feeling about an outcome, like get in on it early and get the odds on a guy like that. So I'm right there with you. All right. I'm going to go with, I'm guessing who's not next in odds, but I think is going to have a big year, Josh Hoover.
Wow. He is tied with Dante for 4th in odds.
Once again,
I knew you were going Hoover.
I'm going off record. Team I think is going to be, I'd be surprised if Indiana doesn't win 10 games or more, so I feel like the record's there. And I think if you tell me that they're at 11 or 12 wins, I think he's got 2 first-round receivers, which are better weapons than he's ever had. I think that offense is really freaking good. Continuity across the board, bringing a bunch of their O-line back. I think Indiana's going to go probably 11-1 again, and I think he's going to put up numbers all year. And if we're just trying to pick a guy that's probably going to be in the top 5, I feel pretty freaking confident about it.
I mean, look what Indiana's done with the past 2 quarterbacks. With, who was it, Curtis Rourke and then Fernando? Nobody I mean, Rourke was fine. Not deserving of this conversation, but no one expected Fernando to be even in this conversation. Like, if we did this Heisman draft a year ago, there's 0.000 chance he's even mentioned as a participant. So, yeah, I think going with an Indiana quarterback who is talented and I think a little bit mobile and just a solid player, and just putting him in Cignetti's offense, like, yeah, he deserves to be in this conversation going forward.
It's crazy that now we're just at the point after 2 years where we're just like, yep, if you're going to be the quarterback at Indiana, good chance at the Heisman. I mean, that's what we think about your Oregons and your Ohio States and your Blue Bloods of the world, and now Indiana's just in that conversation.
Yeah, it's just wild. Mm-hmm. All right, I will go with the guy who I thought you were going to take there, and I'm happy to have him. Can't believe he's number 4. Well, he is number 4, Jeremiah Smith. I think that, I mean, it's not typical for non-QBs to win this, but when it is a non-QB, it's someone who is so transcendent and someone who you kind of, it was Devonta was the last non-QB to win, wasn't it? Devonta Smith?
Putting me on the spot. I am not.
I think it was.
I have bad Heisman history recollection.
Yeah, it was Devon. Oh no, it was Travis Hunter, obviously.
Joe.
Yeah, I feel like when it is a non-QB though, you kind of know it's coming before it comes, like a year before. Like I wouldn't be like Jeremiah has all the hype going into this year. He's, I think, the best player in college football. I think could be probably the number 2, maybe number 3 pick in next year's draft. So, yeah, I could just absolutely see him being at least in New York next year. They love to get a non-QB there. So he should finish high in the voting.
Yeah, once again, I think it's just going to be a question of, like, how many 4-quarter games are they really pushing him the ball, and how defenses are going to play? They do have a hard schedule, and they're playing a bunch of big-time games. I think if you see him late in games and tight battles, and he gets up in that 10-catch, 150, 200-yard range, then obviously there. But I don't know. I always worry when I'm drafting receivers like this. Do you have your guys that get your 3 receptions for 100 yards and a long TD, and then you're just putting them on ice, or they're shell coverage on them all game. So it'll be interesting to see how the Henry Juniors of the world and their other receivers step up, and how reliable are they to where teams are going to have to man up on Jeremiah a little bit.
That was part of this too, though. I don't feel like they're as stacked as normal at the receiver position. And of course, I think Henry is going to be good. I don't know if he's going to be a phenom as a freshman, but they've got him, Smith, and Brandon Innes, I think.
Yeah.
And that's kind of your big 3. And outside of that, I don't personally know of anyone else in that room. Of course, I don't study the Ohio State depth chart that much. So, yeah, I think but yeah, that's that give and take. Is he the number 1 guy, or is he just bringing in all of the double teams and extra coverage? So we'll see. But
he's clearly
Smith.
Clearly the top non-quarterback.
Yeah, happy to have him for sure.
All right,
your third.
I'm gonna go with Darian Mensah.
Okay, you're going down the odds board. I like it.
Once again, I'm just sticking to the script. First of all, I love Mensah. I wanted him bad at Oregon. He was my biggest dream if Dante had left.
If Dante left, we for sure wanted Darian.
Yeah, I was on the Mensah hype train for a long time. Once again, I just think 11 wins probably. That schedule is soft as can be. I think the interesting thing with Mario over the last couple of years, he's clearly decided, I'm not going to micromanage the offense anymore. I'm not going to do 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I'm going to let these guys throw the ball around a little bit, and it's clearly benefited him. So I think if you look at the numbers that Cam Ward put up and even Carson Beck last year, I think Mensah is – I know Ward went 1-1, but I think Mensah as good as he was coming in for sure. I think that system is really good for quarterbacks. I think they throw the ball a lot. They score a lot of points. They have good wide receivers coming back. He's bringing his best friend from Duke, who's another good receiver there. So, I don't know. I think he's going to put up numbers. I think they're going to be in the playoff. I think they're going to win probably minimum 10, but probably more likely 11, 12 games. And just another guy I'm confident in.
Yeah, just like Indiana, Miami has kind of turned to that place where it's like, all right, who's the quarterback there? He's going to be good. He's going to be in that Heisman conversation. Beck wasn't quite there, but it's because Beck, I don't know. I don't think I don't think either of us were as high on Beck as anything. But he was good enough for them. Good enough for that system. Obviously took them to the championship game. But yeah, the things that Mensah can do and the tools that he brings to the table, yeah, absolutely. I had him high on my board too. I think he could definitely be there. He fits that Cam Ward style. I can just see him thriving in this offense for sure.
Yep.
All right, my next one. This guy, I don't quite know why, but he is at the top of the odds board, so I'm going to take the value. CJ Carr. Can you believe he is at plus 750?
Well, it's because they just don't have a real schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. I do like their roster. I like their offense. I think, again, if they don't win 10, 11, 12 games, it's surprising. So Again, they'll probably be in a lot of blowouts, so he may need to pad his stats a little bit near the end. But this guy's he's talented. I think that he's an impressive young player. I realized I kind of like had to go back and watch some of his highlights because I just realized I hadn't watched him play that much because I just don't watch a lot of Notre Dame games when they're playing nobodies. But yeah, I like him. I think that he's gonna be a good player.
Yeah, I think he's one where it's like they obviously totally, with Price and Love this year, like general ground team on offense, but losing both those guys, I feel like Notre Dame's identity has always been a little more, protect the ball, run the ball, throw when you need to. I know they brought in some wide receivers. I could see if they totally open it up this year on offense, then I think he should be the highest odds because they're going to have an awesome record. I don't know. Is he throwing for 150 and 2 touchdowns and putting them on ice, or what's their plan when it comes to him? Because I agree with everything you said. I mean, he's good. I think he's going to be a good NFL player. I really like him as a quarterback. So I just think the plan is what made me hesitate a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Ooh, big debate. I'm going to go with Trinidad.
Yeah, he was sitting there.
He actually, since this article is from February that I read earlier, he wasn't on there. And then I was thinking about it more, other guys, and I was like, oh, snap, I forgot about Trinidad. I just love watching that guy play. I think he's just like college football to me. A guy that might not be the best NFL player in the world, undersized, but just like gritty, tough, makes plays. You think you have him down, he escapes. He's the type of guy I've seen, flummox an Oregon defense for years. I hope that matchup never comes because I can just envision him just escaping near sacks, 40 times within a game. But I think Ole Miss is going to be right in the mix there. 9 wins, 10 wins, 11. And I think if they can get up to that 10-win barrier again and get into the college football playoff, I think the numbers are going to be there.
The only thing I'm really curious, I mean, yes, Trinidad, absolutely. The only thing I'm really curious about is how much that offense is going to change going to Pete Golding and going away from Lane Kiffin, which is why, with my next pick, I'm going Sam Leavitt.
I was between those two. Would you have picked Chambliss if I had taken Levis?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those were the next two off the board, for sure. Chambliss was next. If I had the next pick, I would have taken Chambliss over Leavitt. But with Leavitt there and Chambliss gone, for sure him. I think that, Lane's got a track record of being an offensive genius, and we've seen Sam do some really good stuff, especially under Dillingham at ASU. Like, he's a talented player. As long as he's healed up, which it sounds like he's fine. I think Kiffin was saying yesterday or the day before that he's running like 21 miles per hour on the GPS this offseason already. Like, he should be good to go. So I don't think that's a concern. I think they've got solid offensive talent there. They've obviously built through the portal. They've got high expectations. I think they can. I haven't looked at their schedule. I don't know how tough it is, but I think they could win 9-10 games reasonably. So, I'm happy to have them. Yeah,
that's the thing about Kiffin. Proven track record.
Yeah.
Proven track record of really quarterback-friendly offense when it comes to stats, production, all that stuff, touchdowns, can run. I think you could. I honestly thought about him as high as my second pick because I think if he's healthy and back to what he was 2 years ago, and you give him the cast he'll have surrounding him, and you give him Kiffin,
that offensive line.
Yeah.
All right, your final pick.
All right.
I have 2 on my board. I don't know if you're gonna go with either of them, but.
Should I take running back Damon Williams?
I did see his. What are his odds?
I see 45 to 1 here. It's funny.
Scrolling.
All right.
55 to 1.
I don't.
45 was before he asked out of his team and tried to leave, and then so it went down once that happened.
Good. Yep. So, I don't love anyone who's left, and I'm going to go with an upside play that I think might not be available to me. Like, when are we going to do our first redraft? 4 weeks in or something?
I don't. I was gonna get to this after. I said like maybe. I mean, say if there was an injury or something in the offseason, could we do an emergency like drop add waiver period, or do we do a weekly redraft, or how do we do this? I don't know.
I know last year we intervaled like every
4
weeks or so.
The quarter system.
We could do a preseason. We can do a quarter. Either way, I think there's a real world that if that happens, and this guy gets named starter,
okay,
then he will be drafted high, and that is Keelan Russell.
God damn it! Yeah, that was on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were gonna go Brendan Sorsby. You were gonna like find out if he could actually play or not. You were gonna take him. It's like, please do this for the content.
I mean,
Keelan's
has
great.
caused me more pain in my life than basically any adult out there. So credit to him. I hope we never have to face him again. I don't want to ever see him again, but I can't knock the fact that he does a heck of a job with quarterbacks. I think his offense is good. I respect him and Grubb. I think last year was just kind of a weird year for a lot of reasons, and I think Simpson was hurt in the second half of the season, and that explains a lot. So I think if Russell wins that job, which he would be my prediction today, that guy's got as much talent as DeBoer and Grubb have ever had at quarterback. He's got a heck of a lot of talent around him, and if you're a quarterback on Alabama and you win the SEC or go to the playoff, you're just in the mix always.
Yeah. No, he was going to be my pick for sure, just because the athleticism that he brings. Like, we haven't even seen him play that much, but we definitely have watched his high school tape. I mean, he was a recruit I think Oregon looked at a little bit, so we're familiar with his game. And just pairing him up with that Alabama offense and then putting him in a DeBoer system, that's enticing. So I was going to go with him for sure if you didn't.
Oh, okay.
I am, however, going to go with someone who I'm surprised hasn't gone yet. Finished fourth in last year's voting, Julian Sane.
Yeah.
It's not sexy, but I think that he's going to be the quarterback on one of the best teams in the nation and has the best receiver in the nation. I don't know. Like, it's not like fantasy football where you kind of want to pair up on your wide receiver quarterback duo, but I mean, I may be hurting myself having both of them, but at least have myself covered if that offense is incredible under Arthur Smith of all people. So, Julian Sane.
So who did you have the updated odds. Who did we not draft that was high up there?
Let's see. CJ Arch, Trinidad Julian, Hoover, Dante, Darian, Jeremiah. Gunnar Stockton is the highest guy we didn't draft, which I'm fine with that. Jaden Mayava, Marcel Reed, Malachi Toney. And then it's guys, that was the end of it, what we've drafted. But then Lenore Sellers, Bryce Underwood, John Mateer, Baron Brown, Damon Williams, Austin Mack. Those guys aren't getting there.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Gunner. I mean, I think if Georgia goes, I mean, what did he get? Like 7th last year? I mean, we're just going for points here. I mean,
What did he get? Yeah. Is that what I said he got?
Easily see him get 6th or 7th again. I mean, if Georgia wins the SEC, he's going to be right there. He'll put up some numbers. Mayava, man, I get that I'm biased totally, but I just don't know what he did last year and losing the receivers that makes people so confident that he himself was, the great thing.
What did that team do as a whole this offseason that makes everyone think, oh, this is the year? I mean, that's a much bigger discussion. But yeah, like I don't know. It's because it's USC and people like to think about an LA team, and that's the one. When they should be talking about UCLA, which is a different conversation.
Yeah, I just think about the Oregon game specifically and a couple other games I watched there. So I just thought Lemon and Lane,
did everything.
And they made incredible catches. I mean, there were so many just 50-50 balls that those guys won.
Yeah.
And I'm just not convinced that is going to work when you don't have 2 NFL dudes at receiver. So
Completely agree.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, just to wrap it up, your team going into let's do a preseason check-in just to make sure we're still good. I can't imagine it's going to change between now and then, but just a preseason check-in to update, and then we'll go on the quarter system. So after week 4, right? Well, it's like a 14-week season now, isn't it? 13.
Yeah, we'll figure it. We'll do 3.
We'll do after week 4, and then every 4 weeks from there.
Yep.
All right, your team is Dante Moore, Josh Hoover, Darian Mensah, Trinidad Chambliss, and Keelan Russell, all quarterbacks. I am Arch Manning, Jeremiah Smith, CJ Carr, Sam Levitt, and Julian Sayin. All right, I like those. They're good.
I like
Keep those down. And then coming up, probably at some point in the summer, we'll do our championship or our playoff contender draft as well.
Yep.
Because that was another fun game we did. All right. Airwaves, and close it out.
All right, let's do it. All right, I talked a little bit about this on Ducks Rising the other day, but offensive line prediction, 1 to 5, left to right. Who you got?
Oh, okay.
You want me to go first?
No, because I don't want you to muddle my picks. Like, I think you already have yours set.
The question was, to make it a little longer, and feel free to touch into this, it was, who's your starting offensive line prediction right now, left to right? Is Trophy our starter at LG, RT, or neither on game 1? What about Nacho? Same question, LG, RT, or neither on game 1?
Yeah, I'm going Fox, left tackle, Utu, left guard, Poncho, Ayuli, and then Tofi at right tackle.
Yep.
Is that what you did?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Someone's been reading the board, stealing my intel.
I have not been reading the board. I'm sorry. I've been slacking on that part of my duties. You guys talk. You don't talk too much. You talk more than I'm able to keep up with. I'll say that.
It's fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a lack of belief in Nacho from either of us. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just think when you get to campus, this weekend maybe?
Yeah, he's probably on his way now. I know Lot's on his way.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what, if you're a Ducks Rising member, you haven't watched it yet. If you watched the latest film room with Jeff and I watching the second half, we kind of dove into a bunch of different topics as we were watching the tape. And one thing we talked about was just the adjustment for an offensive lineman. And Jeff mentioned how he came in as a true freshman and played right away, even though he enrolled in summer, not even June, in July. But he just talked about the learning curve of that, getting the playbook in your hand early, and then the benefits of starting inside versus outside. And so I think when you compare a Tofi to a Nacho right now, I think Tofi being on campus for a long time now, having spring ball to gone through, I think he's the easier bet at tackle just because of having had that time. I think a guy like Nacho, all the talent in the world, one of the most talented offensive linemen in the country coming out last year, I think the adjustment inside, and as Jeff put it, just not being on an island. I mean, that's kind of what it boiled down to for him was like, you have protection, you got Poncho next to you, he's played a ton of ball, and just like the comfort level and transition's a little easier there.
And also, if you haven't watched it back from spring football, I think it's Landon Tangwall, whatever it is, had a great breakdown of specifically Tofi in the spring game. Just breaking down his film and his plays. It's very educational and some really good stuff. So go find that on YouTube. Really good stuff.
Yeah. And the end of that question was like, do you see things getting different by the end of the year? I think I'm of the belief that I could see Nacho as that sixth swing guy at the start of the year playing, the true freshman year Josh Connerly role. And then does he push at a guard position? Does a guy get dinged up throughout the year and you see him push inside? Do you see, we know Alik Terry likes to move guys around and try guys at different spots. So
who do you think is more likely to move inside between Tofi and Nacho? I feel like they're both kind of right there at the same. Like, both could play, but I would probably stick both outside. But if I were to pick between the two, I think probably Tofi would go inside, don't you?
I think those are your two starting tackles long-term at Oregon. Yeah. Obviously, you got Crater right now.
What a great thought.
Yeah, I think long-term, if you told me who... I don't know. I think Tommy Tofi is going to start to tackle this year and start to tackle every snap he plays at Oregon, to be honest.
That's fair,
so even though Nacho was higher ranked and got a lot of the hype, and it's just no slight to him. It's just Tofi to me at this point is like, we've seen him at Oregon, and he's a little bit more of a known commodity than the potential of a Nacho.
He's a classic case of, they always say once you're out on campus, your stars are out the window. Like, your recruiting rankings don't matter. Like, he came and absolutely delivered early on. And it's like, okay, now he's It doesn't matter that he was a 4-star and not a 5-star. Like, he can be the starting tackle for this team for years to come, and they feel great about it.
Yep. Right there with you. All right. We got, let's see, 2 more here.
Okay.
In a 24-team playoff,
Oh, God.
what are / should be realistic college football seed tier expectations for Oregon over a 5-year window? For example, mine would be 2 years as a bye, 2 years as a bye, 2 years as a first-round host, 1 year as a first-round away game. So essentially what that's saying is top 8 seed twice, top, 16 seed
Yeah.
twice, 16 through...
Wait, so top 8 get
24.
buys?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think there should be any years where they're an away team. I don't think there should be any years over the next 5 years where that's what we're saying, next 5 years, right?
Yeah, so that would be 17. You're saying then they should be in the top 16 every year.
If there's a single year over the next 5 years where they end the season outside of the top 16,
Yeah.
that would blow me away.
Yeah, so that's probably...
I feel like you're almost not giving enough, not you, the question asker, not having enough years as a first-round bye, as a top 8. Like, this team should be first-round bye. That should be the expectation. I think if you do at least 3 as a top 8, and then if you want to play it safe, do 2 as a top 16.
Yeah, so record-wise, just to game that out, 12-0, 11-1, you're always top 8. 10-2, you very well easily could be top 8. I mean, Ohio State was 6th by straight rankings at 10-2 last year. So I think really to be, if Oregon goes 9-3, they are always going to be in the top 16. So I'm with you. You're signing up for a 4-loss year then, which I just think is unacceptable.
That would be sky is falling in Eugene.
So to me, you got to go 3 top 8s and 2, 9 through 16, right?
Yeah, I think that's the safest answer, yeah. But if I'm feeling a little froggy, I'm saying you're going more top 8 than not.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know, the way non-conference games are trending, I don't see a non-conference game on the horizon that Oregon should be losing.
The more I look at it, the difficulty level of this year's non-conference, surprises me compared to, how you see the trend of everyone else going. It's like, oh, Oregon has a couple of not, really hard non-conference games, but, that's not Portland State.
Totally. So, I mean, if you assume we're going 3-0 non-conference moving forward, then, yeah, I mean, you have basically a 2-loss buffer in the Big Ten, and you're still probably top 8 every year, so... I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I missed one. So there actually is 2 more here. We'll go a little quicker through these. I haven't thought about this one, but it's an interesting question. Who's a QB people are high on that won't live up to expectations, a la guys like Drew Aller and Cade Klubnik last year? Pull back my Heisman list.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, he said quarterback, so we can't do Demond. So... Is John Mateer good?
I don't think so. I think he's just fast.
Marcel Reed?
Marcel Reed's there, Lenore Sellers is there for me, but I don't feel like they're getting a ton of hype that guys like Aller and Nussmeier and Klubnik were getting. What's really... I think the easiest answer, honestly, is Arch Manning. I could really see him not living up to the expectations because the expectations are so overblown right now.
Yeah, that's the hard thing is measuring expectations and team versus it. I mean, I think I don't think part of the reason a guy like Cade Klubnik, people are so down on him is just his team totally flop. And so it's you kind of are betting on a team and a quarterback in that instance. Yeah, I mean, Arch is right there. I think for me, it's I just don't think the same jokes I make about DeMond Williams are really true about Marcel Reed. I mean, I just don't think he's a very good passer of the football.
Yeah. It's just an athletic player who happens to play quarterback.
If you're going off of NFL draft type, I mean, Lenora still is so high up there. He's above so Dante sometimes. And once again, it's tools are great. can you throw the ball to the open guy?
Yeah.
That seems like it should matter.
Well, and I hesitate to say this, what's really scary is that if you look at someone who fits the actual Klubnik, Aller mold of someone who could have gone high in the draft and came back for another year, like Dante fits that mold. I'm not saying he's going to be that guy, but if you are someone at a different school looking at this, it's like, oh, I understand why your easy answer would be Dante for someone to fit this mold, but
Yeah.
we both think he's much better than that, and we think he's the real deal. So
Yeah, it's just hard with these other top guys. It's like I don't think Julian Sayan's awesome, like amazing. I don't think Carr's amazing. I don't think Hoover's amazing, but I just don't see their teams losing more than like twice. So
yeah,
it's just tough.
that's fine.
All right, last one here. I don't know how much either of us can really offer on this. I have a feeling we're just going to do the old stick to the staff mantra. But can you dive into the new promotions for Tyler Dean and Lydia Gibbs and how their role will work with Marshall?
What was the start of that question? Sorry.
Can you dive into the new promotions for Tyler Dean and Lydia Giggs, plus how their role works with Marshall?
I don't know how they will work for Marshall. I think the Lydia one is mostly really cool. I mean, Tyler, great guy. I think he's really good at his job. Great promotion into a general manager role. Like, awesome. Making Lydia the first, what's her title? Her exact title? Do you have it?
Let me pull it up.
I forget, but the first female in that role in the nation, I think is a very cool kind of feather in your cap for Oregon to have.
I think just assistant GM.
Is it assistant GM? Right, yeah. The first female assistant general manager in college football. That's really cool. I think that she came over with Dan from Georgia when he started here. Like, she's been here every step of the way and helped, like, been the backbone of this recruiting effort. So finally kind of giving her flowers and rewarding her for that, I thought was awesome. As far as, like, their day-to-day and how they work with Marshall and in this, I've got no idea.
I think it's
trust the staff.
Yeah, it's just an acknowledgement of the work that's been put in and the success that's had across the recruiting operation and just the enormity of that operation and how integral these people are to it. I mean, I think that Marshall, completely rightfully so, gets many of the flowers when anyone references Oregon's roster, their recruiting efforts, their anything outside of Coach Lanning's scope. Immediately, it's like Marshall, and that's totally validated in every single way. But I think that the work that Tyler and Lydia and the entire staff all the way down have done, you don't finish in the top 5 at Oregon without having incredibly talented and smart and competent people, top down. And so I think these are two people that clearly we prioritize hanging on to. They're people who are 1,000% like integral to the operation, and I think these are people that Dan wants to keep on staff. I mean, titles are great for multiple reasons. One of the reasons they're great is, they hopefully keep someone here. And so I think if this helps keep these people in-house and keeps them at Oregon, that's a big thing.
Well, and if you're wondering, like, if you don't know who Tyler Dean and Lydia Gibbs are, if you can just hear us talking about them, it's like Tyler was the director of scouting. Like, so all of these people who Oregon brings in that maybe not be the high-end 4-star, 5-star who turn into starters, like, he had a role in scouting them and kind of identifying them and bringing them here. Lydia was the director of on-campus recruiting. So all of the recruiting stories you hear and the photo shoots and these guys that came to Eugene and just fell in love with it and just, like, didn't ever want to leave, like, she had a major part to play in that and kind of setting up those environments for these kids. So that's why they're so important and so integral to the staff. So yeah, these promotions are well warranted and deserving of all of their praise and celebration.
Yeah, and once again, a little shout to the members out there listening or possibly new members. Tyler and I had an awesome hour-long session we did last year that's still loaded up for our members under videos and gave like super cool insights into what goes into those scouting operations. What do they look for in players? What percentage of athletes that they have on the board do they target at, ultimately signing? How do you break down positions? All that stuff. Really, really interesting and cool to hear from him. So check that out if you have not yet. But yeah, like you said, those are the operation is. I knew it was deep. It's about 10 times deeper than I ever imagined, and gets deeper every year. So just a huge shout to that entire crew working every day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you got to get out of here. You got anything else to add?
No, that's it. Looking forward to you going. I won't be able to make it tomorrow. I got some school stuff, but I'll be down there Saturday.
Yep, I'll be there tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and then hopefully not Monday, but if it needs to be Monday. All right.
Don't let Beaver fans buy them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to be back on in the coming weeks. We've been cooking up some fun off-season topics. I'm really excited about, some of the shows we've got coming up. I'm not sure if we are going to be on every week over the next month or so. Just as we get into summer, we've got trips planned. May not be a weekly show, but we will be sure to keep you updated on any breaking news or anything crazy if it should happen, and have some fun stuff along the way as well. So check us out on YouTube, find the Ducks Rising podcast on Apple or Spotify, and if you'd be so kind, give us a rating and a review. Most importantly, though, go over to Lockerverse and check out Ducks Rising. Subscribe now and support the program. Let's rise together. We'll talk to you guys soon.